Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's been a little while. I've been working on some new infrastructure here to do recording and streaming. So I have a brand new streaming rig not too far away running overclocking stress test on it right now. Everything's all set up and running. I got some very overclockable hardware in there though, so I'm running some stress testing and seeing how it'll overclock. Already got Streamlabs set up and got a test stream out on the server last night, and it everything's operational. We're pretty much ready to go. Just gonna finalize the overclock settings. Maybe tweak. Right now, I'm overclocking the CPU, but the graphics card has a minor overclock on it, like 100 megahertz overclock on it right now, but it probably can go ways yet. So when the stress test on the CPU's probably got an hour left to go on that, and then yeah, I might see if I can fiddle with the graphics card a little bit. Excuse me. But what we have on there is a water pump cooling system on the CPU socket in this particular setup. And so the CPU is kind of getting a pretty extensive overclock. It's quite an overclockable chip to begin with in the Ryzen 5 AMD series, but yeah, with that water block cooling system on there, it's going to overclock nicely. Um, and then the video card just has a standard cooling solution on it from the Sapphire. Um, but depending on how well the card, you may look at water blocking it in the future as well. Kind of depending on how it performs and what its temperatures kind of look like. But there's also some questions about the driver architecture going forward as well. But nonetheless, pretty happy with the way it turned out. Kind of looks a little more cyberpunk than I had intended. It glows like a Mardi Gras. It's every color of the rainbow, RGB all over the place, which is kind of neat. The RAM sticks and stuff these days, everything lights up. It's pretty cool looking. But anyways, so there's quite a few classic games that we have in the library um, that we're looking at putting teams together to play. Left 4 Dead 2 is one of them. There's some old school multiplayer games like that we're definitely gonna build stream/game nights around. And the other game that we're really looking at is Sons of the Forest. We really like the first Forest game. Survival games in general, as you may know, we really are big fans. But the second Forest game is out, and there's not been a lot of chatter about it. I think a lot of people were maybe expecting a little more different um, at the launch of the second game. And what I loved about the first game was just the survival, the crafting system in the world. And I think that what they've done is really focused on making version 2.0 of that. And I think a lot of people were surprised with how awesome the story was in the first Forest game. I was. It was. I wasn't expecting anything at all, and it kind of like threw me for a loop. And I think a lot of people were expecting like big things from the story or explanations in this game, and maybe they feel like they wanted it to be more of a story game than a survival game. But I'm really happy that it didn't get turned into some kind of narrated gameplay over a completely sandbox world. So I'm really excited to try that game, and there's not a lot of people talking about it. And I have a few friends that Actually, the guy that introduced me to the Forest, we've been talking about playing it for quite a while. So yeah, I'm gonna look at getting a group together. I can't remember in the first one if it was. I think you could have up to 4 people at a time, and I hope that's the same mechanic dynamic they have in this one. Would be nice if they had a four player or more. I mean, I don't know if I want to see 32 airline survivors running around an island. It might be too much at a certain point. But yeah, a few people would be cool. So yeah, once the overclock is done, there's a few games that I might stream just to kind of put the card through its paces. It's a pretty modern setup, so we're hoping that it can stream at 4K while playing the games at 4K is our hope. So we'll see how that goes. Seeing how frame rates go may change game to game, but I've got probably 3 weeks left on the Congo Pass in Fishing Planet, so I'm not too worried about missing out on it or anything. But and I'm getting within 30 levels of max level now too, so kind of at the point where I'm not gonna miss out too much if I don't play the Congo every day. But that being said, I would really like to keep playing Fishing Planet on the PC. My character, of course, the accounts don't link that way with this game, so the my character on the PC, I just made it so he's level 1. So I got to look at seeing if I can, maybe I'll just start over from level 1 and kind of be able to make, experience the game from level 1 all over again and kind of make some videos that'll be a little bit more relevant for lower level people. Um, but after I've purchased the Congo content uh, on PS5, so it'd be cool if they had some kind of a cross play link account feature, or if PlayStation had the ability to play your PS games on PC the way Xbox has. That is the singular feature that I envy Xbox having over PlayStation. Is they have access to their library on PC, and I was just messaging some old friends on PC about playing again through the Xbox app because I haven't talked to them. I don't know, since I sold my Xbox 360, which has got to be like 5 or 6 years now, and I feel like I've lost touch with so many cool people over the years, from switching ecosystems. Had a really great group of friends on PC from the 90s into like the maybe 2010s, but you I switched to playing primarily consoles because you get older and a lot of your dude friends get married and kids, and it's just so much easier for them to play on a console. And so I ended up moving kind of to stay in touch with people. Um, that being said, you end up moving ecosystems another time or two, move to the Xbox, move to PlayStation, now looking at moving back to PC. I just hate to see how many people that I haven't played with in years and years, and people that I've lost touch with and don't have contact information for anymore because it's been so long. And I'm actually a little bit surprised and saddened to go back and see how many user profiles aren't active anymore on for a lot of the people that I used to play with, and you got to wonder what happened, I see how many messages that I've gotten for people trying to buy my Xbox profile, and I know they're kind of worth money because of the number of games with gold. You end up having a profile with a service like this for years and years on end, and you ended up owning, well, depending on how you see it, but you have access to all those games that you got for free from that service over the years, whether games with gold from Xbox or PlayStation Plus. And so people value those profiles, and sometimes people sell them. A lot of times people sell them. Got plenty of offers to buy. So yeah, I wonder if some of them got sold, or some people retired, sadly. I don't plan on ever retiring from playing games. But let's see if we can't get to fishing and make some money here while the computer's doing its thing. I'm going to switch over to the other screen real quick and just check and see how the overclock is coming along. So for any of you tech heads out there, it's a AMD Ryzen 5 9600X 6-core, which has the same chips per core in it, the same transistor layout as the 9950. And oftentimes, depending on where they carve a chip out of the silicone, or a certain number of the transistors in some of the cores aren't operational or are up to spec, they'll disable two of the cores and then sell that 9950X processor as a 9600 6-core instead of an 8-core, right? But it's essentially, and there's more very specific scenarios when that many cores is necessary. Programs have gotten better at hyper-threading as time's gone on, but your single fastest core is usually still your bread and butter when it comes to gaming. It's going to do the majority of your compute cycles. So having a 6-core that's nearly as fast as an 8-core, or the same speed as an 8-core, that ends up being more overclockable, can be a great, more economical alternative to the absolute top range, $1,000 plus CPUs that are out there. So that was the kind of strategy I went with designing this rig. So it's 18% through its per core overclock stress test. Hour and 10 minutes left to go. So I'm just going to remember to come back and check this in just over an hour. All right, a few days, I'm going to be back in the routine here. I see quite a few of my club mates throw a rapid crab, which I did unlock. But from what I read, it'll be a nice change of pace for sure. And I'm not hurting for money. I don't really care if I spend the travel fee or have to buy a license, because I have this license for free at Congo for the next 30 days. But yeah, I still read though that Congo, if you really want a hard drive, still kind of outpace blue crab. But a lot of people do talk about carp fishing at Weeping Willow. So I'm kind of over there towards the end of the stream here. No, I've gotten all the ground-based stuff. Besides the cat today, the only with my 80-pound rod, but yeah, it was like 401 pounds, which was bigger than my fish keeper can keep. My max is still only 374, so I had to let it go, which doesn't really matter. I wanted the XP, not the money anyway. But yeah, you threw 40,000 cash back in the water. But yeah, you make so much money compared to low levels. Still, it's a long fight. So, and as far as I know, there's quite a few more Goliath. I know 5. Spots there might be. Maybe some people who really hunt them would know, but it's, it is cool to bring in a big fish like that. Just how much time it takes me to bring them in, it just ain't. It's just not worth it with the kit that I have. Yeah, I might have to look at overclocking the memory on that thing too. It's not the worst memory, but it's nothing fancy either. I guess it was kind of the budget stuff. There was a time when that memory released that it was they were the first company, I think, to release that speed. But the timings on it aren't amazing. I think in XMP profile, it's running. Oh, what the heck is it now? Like 42, 42, 42, 80. Hey Zeke, how you doing, brother? Good to see you. See you got new profile pickup. Cool, man. How you been? Yeah, this memory, it's like I said, it's not the best timings you'd ever seen. I think by default it's more like 44 or 46, 46, 46. But anyways, I am doing great, man. I've been really busy. We built a new streaming PC so that we can start streaming from PC. So I got it all put together and everything, and I'm just running an overclock stress test on it right now. But yeah, I already hooked it up to YouTube and everything. Cool, man. Yeah, so just kind of waiting for the software to settle on that. And then I'm trying to figure out which game I'm gonna play on. I'm gonna start my first stream. Yeah, man. Yeah, I put a post up about it because people were asking if I was coming back or what. I didn't want people to think I was gonna quit streaming. So yeah, just waiting for the overclock to finish. It's got about an hour left on the stress test, and then I'm gonna try and decide which game to try out first. I think I'm gonna try out the Sons of the Forest survival game. I asked Fishing Planet if they'll move my account to PC so that I can keep playing my same game on PC. But if not, then I'm gonna start a level one. I already have it made. I will start playing over as a level one guy on PC. Kind of a shame that I bought the content here, but anyway, I'm happy to have the PC streaming, be able to edit all my videos and put up some shorts and stuff of some funny clips and stuff that's been happening in the games and stuff. But yeah, so I'm pretty excited, man. So all right, I'll check that out, man. Henry Stickman. But yeah, what have you been up to, bro? How's things been? Ah, yeah, fair enough. Have they fixed many of the bugs yet? Hey, Elijah, welcome back, brother. Good to see you. Hope you've been well. It's been busy working on the PC project and stuff, and it's up and running near to me here. Hope you've been well, bro. But yeah, I was wondering, have they fixed many of the bugs? I'm great, man. Been really busy working on that computer, like many hours a day, and got the network infrastructure and everything all set up. But yeah, it's been a heck of a thing. But yeah, it's great because it's running now, and I can go back to streaming and making better streams with better graphics. That's one of the things I'm excited for, is to have the highest quality graphics to be able to stream it in 4K. That's what we want. So people who can have the bandwidth, a good connection, they'll be able to really crank it up and see the best graphics that we have to offer in these games. So yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it. How's the kids? How's everything going with you, Eli? Thanks, thanks, Zeke. I hope so, my man. I'm excited to. I love photorealistic graphics. I logged into Fishing Planet for just a couple of minutes on the PC, but yeah, I'm excited to see how good it'll look, on the newer maps and stuff. Right on, Elijah. It's good to hear, my man. Like I'm rusty at fishing. It's only been a few days. Talking and fishing at the same time, and I'm not doing very good. What games have you been playing there, Elijah? And yeah, Zeke, Quano he was gone this last weekend. He went to a show. He went to see Ricky Gervais with his family in one of the bigger towns in Sweden, I think Stockholm. But he was asking me if we're going to play Destiny 2. He messaged me the other day, and I was working on the computer. But we're going to go back and finish the story and stuff, but kind of wait for them to fix the bugs before we really, like, we were talking about it last time we played. Like, the player count is, like, way down. Expeditions. Mm. Oh, bro. I can't wait, man. So, for the new PC stream, we got the anniversary edition of SnowRunner. So it has all the content. No, that's funny. They're not related. Um, Kwan's from Sweden and Korn is from where I live in Canada. But yeah, it's just they both have game names, I guess, that start with a K. But Quan is like kind of his name when he was a kid too, so I've always known him as Quan. No, I used to be in Charlotte, but now I'm way up north. I've lived all over the place, man. Spent time in the States and Europe, South America, even. Not for a long time, only like three months in South America, but yeah. And then I flew all over Canada doing telecom infrastructure. If you like fishing, man, or 4x4, and this is a good place to do it. No way. I think I think we talked about it before, but I forgot, bro. Congrats, man. It's finally happening. I'm excited for you, man. That's awesome. Have you spent much time over in North America before, or is it your first time? It's going to be a whole new world. If they were speaking English there, then yeah, I'd say it counts. So yeah, it's but still going to be pretty fresh for you though. It's not like you spent a lot of time in like LA or big city, big city US. So yeah, should be a heck of a thing for you, bro. Prepare to have your mind a little bit blown. Well, I mean, with the internet and stuff, I'm sure you know pretty much what it's like. But yeah, still, when I moved to the big city for the first time, because I grew up in like a small community, and yeah, and I moved to a big city and lived right there for 14 years. But yeah, at first it's a little bit of culture shock. But I think that'll be awesome for you, though. Probably more opportunity in the States, but yeah, don't try that. Uh, the Americans are all about their rights to carry and stuff, but at the same time, they'll take that crap seriously too. You wouldn't even want to say it. One one of my ex girlfriends had a really strong accent, this French girl, and we were flying together, and when we landed, the airline had lost her. Team America. Yeah, totally. Yeah, this airline. Yeah, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, sushi. I mean, what? Yeah. But yeah, we landed and the airline had lost. Tell them like she's tired, she just wants to go home, but she's kind of said it, and they didn't understand. Like, I just want to fly. No, I just want to go home. But they were trying to like get all upset. It was ridiculous. Yeah, yeah. It's not that nothing happened. I was just calm them down. I was like, she said she just wants to go home. She just wants to go home and she doesn't have a problem. But yeah, you be careful with the station, especially in the airport. especially if you have a strong accent, because Americans are unforgiving with people that have accents. Oh man, people used to say stuff to her just for being French. Why don't you go back to where you came from? Blah blah blah. Like, oh my god. Like, you know what? You go back 100 or 200 years, everybody's an immigrant. All of our folks immigrated here from somewhere at some point, except for the natives. They're the only ones that could say that, really. Even they came here at one point, just before everybody else. Oh, yeah, and there's a lot of countries that use those same colors too. Funny enough, but, I mean, shouldn't be anything wrong with expressing a little pride in heritage. I just don't think people should let it turn to hate. That's where it goes wrong, in my opinion. Have a little pride and all that's just all good. Just like as long as you're happy for the other people to have a little pride too. I got all these games now on the PC. So yeah, we went ahead and got the anniversary edition of SnowRunner with all the content, all the add-ons. So I'm gonna have to start a new game on hard mode. But yeah, I'm gonna start over on PC. I mean, actually, now that I played on the PC, I realized the PlayStation 5 Pro did a really good job. It does look really good on the PS5 compared to the PC, but the PC obviously does look good. So, but I'm debating because there's that. Definitely got to play that. And then we got Red Dead Redemption 2, some Ultimate Edition or something. And that is supposed to be one of the nicest looking games on the PC, especially if you mod it. And then we have Sons of the Forest. So I'm just kind of like, man, which game I'm going to play first? I don't know. I I don't think you can. You should. Like, I bet you from the Xbox you could, but I don't think you can transfer a save file from PlayStation to PC. But yeah, I mean, it's cross play, so you would think it, right? But I guess, I don't know, there's just enough, like, differences in the build engines and all that. But it does look amazing. But yeah, so yeah, there's like I don't know how many games sitting there, and then oh yeah, there's a few like I don't know if you guys would like those kind of games like Civilization, like those kind of games. They call them like a 4X, like expand technology. Anyway, I used to play this one called Sins of a Solar Empire. It's a huge like you conquer like you in colonize planets and build like a star empire. Yeah, nice. They're awesome, bro. I love those games. They're so. I mean, you got to use your brain, like a lot of your brain. Maybe not 100%, but you got to use a good amount of it to be if you want to be good at them. But yeah, Sins of a Solar Empire. It's kind of old now, but way back when I played it, you fast forward the game like that much because once you get to the later stages of the game, like they do like they're going to fly your ship from one star lane to another. You have this fast forward. but put it up past like 4 or 5 times fast forward, your computers couldn't handle it. So I was kind of curious. But then I went and looked for it, and now they have a second one. It just came out a couple of months ago. So, of course, I had to get that. So I got Sins of Solar Empire 2 that I've never even played before, also sitting there. So I don't know, guys. Tell me, what should I do? What should I play first? Just kind of want to see how good that card, this graphics card, and the PC or CPU can like really do on the best games while they're streaming. See if they can still do them at 4K. Yeah, I got RTX essentially, Radeon. So that's AMD. It used to be ATI, but now it's AMD that owns it. But yeah, that's what I ended up getting, a 9070 XT. It's got a little overclock on it, but I may overclock it a little bit more. Feel like I should be getting more out of it. But I'm hoping that's good enough to run everything at 4K and to be able to stream at 4K at the same time. But we'll see. It'll be interesting. But I never played Red Dead 2 on a PC or with mods. I only ever played it. I first played it on PS4 and then PS5. I only played it a tiny little bit. But yeah, they say apparently it's like one of the most beautiful games you can get on PC right now. So, but I don't know. I don't know what you guys think. I played first. I'm kind of thinking the forest because great thing about a survival game like the forest is you got crafting, you got fishing, you got a little bit of like a first person kind of a element there because you got to use like spears or bows and arrows and stuff to like deal with the beasts there. Game too, so I don't know. Fishing fun up there too. Yeah, go back to level 1. I used to play a lot of MMO games too. So that's kind of tempting. I have a few friends that playing one called I forget the one that my other friend told me about. The one I think is still in beta or early access or something. The one I was looking at was that Star Citizen game. The Star Citizen really appeals to me. And anybody that is older and played like some of the older generation of MMOs like Anarchy Online, um, the Scandinavian. Oh yeah, brother, I played Skyrim for sure. Um, I got Skyrim in VR for my PS4. Still got it kicking around somewhere, but oh, that's another thing I got. I got a VR headset. So, the new PlayStation VR 2.0 is compatible with the PC. You just got to have the hookup to plug it into PC. So when I bought the PlayStation 5 Pro, I bought a VR with it too because I knew I could hook it up to both that and the PC. So I also got a VR headset sitting there that I play a little bit on the 5, but now I can hook it up to PC VR games. I'm pretty excited about that too. Heck yeah, you can. I'm going to be doing that for sure, bro. I'm going to be streaming VR. for as much as I can handle. We'll see, because the original one, at first I could only play it for like an hour, and then I'd get sick to my stomach. But then after you kind of like you like acclimate to it, and then you can just keep playing kind of. But when I first tried it, it kind of made me sick, and I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna have to get used to doing this again. But I think on the PC it'll be better. I'll have like a higher frame rate. It'll be a little like smoother, so it might be a lot easier on the old eyes and stuff. But yeah, the new resolution looks just fabulous already on. From what I tried out, like that was one of the things that bugged me on the PSVR 1.0 is there was like the screen door effect they call it. So when you're looking at those pixels so close, that's pretty funny. I've seen a few people doing that. Man, I haven't streamed it yet, but I did play one. My friend bought me this one. I think it was called like the Asylum or something, but that's what it was about. You're in this asylum. Oh my god, man, it scared me. I've never felt like that before from playing a video game. My throat actually like tightened up. And I was like, it wasn't hard to breathe, but it was just like, it was weird that like my throat just got like super tight from this thing like jumping out in my face. I'm like, oh my god, you could like, the first time a video game actually like gave me a physiological reaction because it was so intense. So I can imagine. I actually seen this other guy. He must be kind of big on YouTube. He streams him playing the horror games, but he's not even in VR. You can tell it scares. You can see him like jumping out of his chair and stuff. So yeah, I know what you mean, bro. Maybe. We'll see. I don't know if there's any games that could make me rage, but um, him and I used to play this kids game called Gunbound. It's hilarious. It's like a South Korean company, Softnik, that makes it. It's kind of like there was this old Worms games. Their tank, and you try and blow up each other's tank, and that's basically what it's like. It's it's hilarious. We're like a couple of like adult men talking about going back and playing this kids game for the first time in like 6 or 7 years. But yeah, I think we're gonna. It's hilarious because you get some of these like little artillery tanks that shoot like digger shots, so you can like dig the ground out from other people and drop them off cliffs and stuff. It's too much fun. Or make a hole so big they can't get out of it. But yeah, it's been far too long. Like I told the people that I've talked to in the chat before about playing competitively back in the early 2000s up till about 2006. I played competitively in the tournament scene and stuff for first person shooters mainly, but all kinds of stuff. Back before esports was even like a term, hadn't even been dreamt up yet. And Quan and I were playing together in those days. But a lot of those games back then are still classics that people still play, which is pretty amusing to me. But especially in the last few years where people have seen the quality of games decline significantly, like we've seen so many less AAA titles in the last 4 years, call it COVID, call it whatever. But yeah, the games industry, you know, if you stepped away for a couple years, you didn't miss much. I kind of did was focusing on a different career in sales there for a little bit, and then when I came back and I asked people like, "What's new? What are you guys playing?" They're like, "Well, kind of still the same stuff." And some of the older games are still some of the best games in those genre. And like you said, Zeke, the you mentioned Skyrim. Skyrim is still kind of like still one of the best open world sandbox single player RPG experiences in that kind of setting. Now, I absolutely love the Elder Scrolls games. Started playing back in Morrowind days. I don't think I played Daggerfall, but I played the heck out of Morrowind on the PC. Yeah, it's very popular. It's not as in depth as maybe some other games that I don't know, and I prefer that. And that was what got me into that franchise in the first place was um, Morrowind, the game that came before Oblivion, because what Morrowind was the third, I'm pretty sure, and then Oblivion was the fourth, and then Skyrim was the fifth. I think that's how it goes. Because Daggerfall, I'm pretty sure was the second one. But anyways, besides the history lesson, um, those games have classically always been like kind of the most popular, biggest AAA games in that franchise. And I'm not sure what HO14 is, but I like that as well. That's kind of like the Civilization games. That's kind of why I really like them. I really like the early Command and Conquer strategy style games, but then when Civilization, the Sid Meier's franchise came along, they added that whole historical, you had to build the wonders of the world, you had to research mathematics and animal husbandry and all those, you know, cool advances in civilization was going for. Oh yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah, yeah. Pretty famous one. People kept playing that one forever after it came out. Hey, it was like one of those games that had just a huge community. But yeah, I mean, video games are an art form and kind of like almost like who raised a lot of us these days. Somebody has a lyric in a song now, but I can't remember who sings it. But yeah, but like the more historical stuff they add into games and the more people use their brains and learn in games, the more of an art form I think it is to actually make like learning and history interesting and fun. That's a heck of an art right there. It is, eh? Okay. Is that any better? Otherwise, I could turn it up or park my boat here. Let me see. I'll pause it for a second so I can turn it up. All right. Hopefully, that's not too loud. Yeah, I'm so excited how the games industry has advanced and developed in one of the main or the main form of entertainment. But it's really sad to see the industry how it's kind of taken a big hit in the last 3, 4 years. And prime example of that is like I'd love like I would take if another Skyrim, I shouldn't call it Skyrim. If another Elder Scrolls game came out, and here's the problem is now Microsoft owns Bethesda, and I was such a huge Bethesda fan for so long. Elder Scrolls, Fallout, like two of my favorite RPG franchises of all time. And then they bought it, and now they haven't done much with it. They haven't. I haven't heard anything about any new Elder Scrolls. I haven't heard anything about Skyrim. The current games are kind of like not what they should be. I've heard Fallout 76 has gotten better, but it right from launch it wasn't the game that Fallout deserved better. Yeah, kind of the same for hey Zeke, can you hear me a little better now, bro? I don't know what he's talking about. But anyways, lost he distracted me, completely derailed my train of thought. What was I saying? Oh yes, like it's a shame that Bethesda. Oh, I'm a streamer, buddy. I think your son watches my stream, and I think he was watching it on your phone. I think is what's going on, bud. Okay, Elijah, give me just one sec. I'll try unplugging and replugging my mic. I think maybe that's what's going on. It's got this big fish here. Let me see if I can do it. I don't know. Is that any better? Or could always switch to my other headset. Yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, I see. I see. I see. I got it. Yeah, maybe let him know what's going on because he's messaging in the chat wondering. Okay, right on. Yeah, this is kind of a PC headset, but it's got the hookups for everything. So I don't know. Sometimes it gets confused or something. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of. I am not sure, sir. You will have to ask your son that yourself. Uh, I think he's looking for other people that play the same games that he's playing. Anyways, yeah, it's just it's too bad that Bethesda is not releasing uh, the content like they used to, or if they are working on it, I think the fans would love to hear about it. It's been a long time since we've had a good Elder Scrolls or Fallout game, and yeah, that was the other thing I was going to mention. But besides Fallout, unfortunately, not towing the line as far as fans. um, Zeke, your son says that you shouldn't talk to strangers. That's from him, not from me. um, Getting me all derailed off of my topic here, but yeah, the fans would love to have a Elder Scrolls game, and the Elder Scrolls Online was a disappointment, just like Fallout 76. Unfortunately, both of them from day one were disappointing, and right kind of when Elder Scrolls Online was in development, Bethesda I think got purchased by ZeniMax, I think was the name of it, entertainment group, and so that was kind of a thing, and then they released
some publicity for the game that was kind of misrepresenting what the gameplay was actually like at launch, and so that was a little bit of a thing, and it didn't go over well. And now Microsoft owns Bethesda, but sadly for a software company, they haven't been doing great things with a great IP, intellectual property that they have with that game is just absolute gold. What are you doing? But it's the same thing with Fable. It's like Microsoft is more intent on stopping other game companies or entertainment companies from making money on those studios than making money on those studios themselves. It's like they're grabbing up these off of them, keeping them out of Sony's hands primarily, who's their number one competition in the console space. But then they're not turning around and doing anything with that IP, which is really, really sad from the gamer's perspective. If you're going to snap up studios like that, man, don't make it go away. Do something with it. Otherwise, I ain't never going back to Xbox. I might go to PC, but yuck. And it's the same thing with the Fable. Everything, every game that Microsoft has had that was gold, they had development, and then development got completely canceled after years of telling the fans about it, and then it was so bad they just finally completely canceled it. And then they promised that they were going to put all the Halo games in one Master Chief collection, and you would have retro Halo with multiplayer, all integrated, and it took them like the multiplayer working after launch. Like, holy crap, you guys. And then from all accounts, from what I hear, it's still not perfect. Like, it's operational now, but it's not, like what everybody wanted or expected or should have been from the start. So yeah, just really sad seeing some of my favorite game franchises getting kind of gutted by Microsoft's inability to execute. And, sadly, it's kind of something endemic in the games industry for the last few years. And I know COVID played a part in it, but yeah, I think there's been a dry spell of big games and just really good games in the last few years. That's, as a really long time gamer, really sad to see. Some things should come back and never should have went away. So many good franchises, good companies. Maybe the industry was in kind of like just an overheated period after, like had so many multi-billion companies like EA and Epic and Blizzard. Next thing, all of a sudden they came out of nowhere, and instead of Steven Spielberg being like the biggest, yearly producer in the entertainment industry, it was I'm trying to think of guys who directed big games, but it's more like studios. It was more like studios than like a single director like it is in the movie industry. It was like BioWare. BioWare was huge. Mass Effect, Knights of the Old Republic. Um, there's just so many that don't even exist anymore. Was it Turn 10, Take 2? It's just like this never-ending machine that consumes itself, the games industry. Like, studio comes along, studio makes good games, studio gets popular, big company buys it, good studio dies. And it just happens again and again. Westwood Studios, man, they made epic games back in the 90s. Westwood Studios was huge. Lucas Arts. No problem, Zeke. was a little confusing, but it's all good, bro. It's kind of funny, actually. He's pretty good with the phone for being a 6-year-old. That's pretty funny. All right, gentlemen, I'm going to take a quick break here, warm up my coffee. I will be back shortly. Somebody else messaged me. They were listening into that whole little conversation and they were laughing at it. They messaged me through a different app. Yeah, that's too funny. All right. 20 minutes left on the CPU stress test. And then, can you hear me now? And you hear me now? Okay, cool. Yeah, I got 20 minutes left on the stress test on the CPU. And then I'll probably just throw like a quick overclock on the card. The card's got like 100 megahertz overclock on it, but yeah, I'll just like jazz it up a little bit. And then I'll fire up a PC stream, I think. First time ever. And it can be if you want it to be, Elijah. Because I was going to ask you guys what you guys think. Definitely, definitely can give it a go, man, for sure. Might just, oh yeah, yeah. All right, yeah. I'll try streaming in 4K, and got the graphics cranked on ultra and see how it looks. All right, brother, you got it. SnowRunner it is. And then I'll start out right from square one on hard mode. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. I already cranked, I didn't try it while I was streaming, but I cranked the graphics all the way up to Ultra and 4K before I did the overclock, and it ran like perfectly. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes once the stream starts. But I was talking to another YouTuber that's trying to get his channel going. And nice. It took a lot of work to get to this point, Zeke, but I am excited about it, man. I cannot wait. But yeah, I had to see what platform are you playing on, Elijah? Are you on Steam? Are you on Epic? Oh, okay. Yeah, I can't remember if I don't think we ever played together. But yeah, I wonder if Switch is cross. I always assume people I was playing with, it just shows a little PC symbol on PlayStation, so I was like, oh, they're playing on PC. But all right, cool, man. That sounds like fun. Let's see if my nice. Yeah, I kind of forgot about that. Because yeah, I have a few other buddies that have SnowRunner too. I um I have the original version of SnowRunner. I'll show you guys once I switch over to PC. It's called Spin Tires. It was the first one ever made. It was made by this Russian dude who basically just started making his own game by himself. when Intel released the PhysX engine. That yeah, bro, that's awesome that you know that. That's too funny. So yeah, I totally play that old spin tires with all my buddies that I grew up with, and we used to go 4x4ing and stuff together. And when one of them found out about that game, well, I had heard about it, but I never played it. And then when I found out he was into it because it was like an off-roading game, I was like, oh, awesome, okay. And yeah, there was lots of cool like downloadable content, and then when they got bought by Saber, I was just like, oh, great, like there goes another cool indie game that I'll never play again. But then they released Mud Runner, and I think I have Mud Runner too. I own that somewhere, I'm pretty sure. And then they kind of, right, not long after Mud Runner, they announced Snow Runner, and I was just like, oh, well, crap, Mud Runner is not going to get support, and so I'm probably just going to kind of give up on Snow Runner 2 because they'll just keep releasing them and not supporting them or whatever. But I couldn't help myself. I pre-ordered Snow Runner anyway. And then, after all these years, seeing that they've kept releasing content and supporting the game really well, I'm super happy to see that they've done that and like really given it the love it deserves. It's one of those games that deserves it. But yeah, too funny how some games start. So that's kind of why I'm very like progressive when it comes to video game development. Like I'll take it if the end product it justifies it, then I'm cool with it. It's like the guy that made No Man's Sky caught so much heat for the game not releasing the way he kind of like advertised that it would. But man, he put his nose to the workbench and just kept at it and kept making the game better and better and better until he built it into what his original vision was, and didn't waste time, going on social media and like getting into arguments with people or anything. Just went to work and made the game into what he said it was going to be, and I got to respect that. And it's a great game, and I have it in VR, and that was the game when I first got my PSVR 2.0 hooked up. That was the first game. Yeah, cool, man. That was the first game that I tried, so I totally Kickstarter, indie developer, homemade game. I actually have a really funny story about that because I kind of been making levels and designing stuff for games for a long time, as some people know. But one of the earliest groups that I played with the founder of that group was an aspiring indie games developer. This is so funny to be telling this story because I never told it before, but might wait till Elijah comes back. He might find this funny. But it is just interesting, the games industry. And welcome back, dude. I was just waiting for you to come back because I was gonna tell a story. It's Old Man Von Ricken's story time. I'm kind of joking, but no, I was just gonna say years and years ago, way back when I did play games competitively, actually before that even, because I was kind of involved in making community content levels and stuff for games, and so I played games with quite a few people that worked in the game industry over the years, and one of the earliest guys was this dude that was an aspiring indie games developer, and he wanted to make a video game, and he had, you know, a pretty big idea and what he wanted to do with it and everything, apparently. So I've heard, or so he said. And he put together this team of people that basically all worked on the project with him for free. And they made a reality series, like TV show. It was like in the early days of like internet TV. It was like an internet TV show. I think that's how it was distributed. About him and his group trying to make this game, basically all of them living like in a couple little dorms together and like sitting there coding all day and like making the art and stuff. And so I had several friends that I were my first friends playing video games with. And Quan is one of the guys, and Quan and I have been friends ever since then, back in like 2002 or whatever, when we first met online playing games. But he was one of those guys that was in this group that we played together and knew this guy. His name was Damon Grow. And so they eventually he got his little reality TV series where they went around and filmed him and his his team living in these little tiny apartments trying to make this video game. I'm trying to remember the name of it now. Eventually it'll come to me. But anyways, you can Google him now and you can still watch the little reality TV series that they did. But I knew this guy personally. I started playing games with him from an early, like way back in the early 2000s. And he ended up basically like scamming everybody that was working on the project. And it was kind of a big deal because if you know a lot about like the history of the games industry, who John Romero is, he's him and John Carmack were the guys that made Doom. So they're kind of like the grandfathers of like video games, basically. Like John Carmack went on to make the Oculus. I mean, he made tons of games over the years, but, you know, that was, he's like a pioneer. He first made Doom with John Romero, but then he made, I think, Rust and a bunch of big AAA video games over the years. But then he eventually made the Oculus for Meta, or was Facebook at the time, now called Meta, when they bought Oculus and turned it into whatever they call it now. I forget what Meta calls their VR now. But yeah, John Carmack was the guy that made that VR for them. And John Carmack and John Romero were the guys that made Doom together. And John Romero was in the show, in the reality show, as like a special guest, kind of, you know, explaining, you know, what they were doing with the game and how they were trying to make it. He wasn't part of like helping them make the game, but he was like the guest star in the TV show. But it's kind of an interesting whole debacle because eventually Damon Grow, the guy that was doing this, he ended up ripping off all the intellectual property from all the guys that were working for him for free in those little like sweatshops. Hey, Abnormal Cookie. Welcome to the channel. Just talking a little bit of trash, internet or gaming history about some of the earliest game creators, and one of them that I knew personally who ended up doing some shady stuff in the industry. And you can Google him to this day. You can look him up. His name is Damon Grow, and he ended up trying to make a video game, and they made a reality TV series about him way back. And a bunch of the guys who I played with in early competitive uh, video gaming competitions and stuff, we were all friends with him in some of these early gaming groups. But yeah, it's old history, but it's funny that just over the years I've kind of watched a lot of the gaming industry from the inside out, and I just love to see how much it's grown and changed and advanced. But yeah, there's been plenty of funny stories and failed careers and failed companies and stuff along the way. But I should check on that overclock and see how it's doing. I think the stress test should be done by now. Yo, Parker, welcome. What's up? What's up? It's not a bad little fishy right there. Right on, bro. Just chilling out. You gonna do some fishing? Yeah, not bad. This is like a 80 something pound rod with a 79-pound reel, I think. So, oh, it's 83-pound reel on there now. Okay, yeah. I recognized your picture, but your name, I was kind of wondering. Yeah, cool, man. Appreciate it. Have you been doing some streaming? How's that been going for you? I should probably put a marker down for that last fish. I bought another batch. I think, what do you get? 33 for 17 bait coins? Hey, man, that's really good. Usually it takes a while to get, a good audience, but, are you streaming Fishing Planet? Yeah, that's really good, bro. Yeah, a lot of people love Fishing Planet, that's for sure. I messaged them to ask them if they would help move my account to PC or move my Congo DLC at least to PC. Nice, nice. But I might just start leveling my guys a level 1 on PC, and then, anybody watching can kind of see. Like, it's been a while since I did those lakes, but I should at least remember, basically how to level up quick and stuff. People can see right from level 1 how I would do it, but um oh, welcome back, Abnormal. Were you on deployment? Oh, it was a big fat fail. But yeah, PT, that's awesome, bro. Takes a while. You just keep at it, and takes a while to make it profitable. That's for sure. Well, brother, thank you for your service. Oh yeah, is that right? Where are you stationed at? I think I'm gonna start it right away here, Elijah, if that works for you, because yeah, it takes time. Officer. Okay, yeah, I'll switch over right away here then, Eli, because I think that stress test is done. So let me just switch my screen and I'll check that. But yeah, I I service telecom on a one of the biggest Air Force bases here in my province for close to 10 years. And I just love watching the jets take off every day. And pilots are usually pretty good guys to deal with. Gave me a few tours and let me touch some bombs and stuff. Nice. So, got your wings? You're training to be a pilot, or just out of curiosity, if you don't mind? I'm sure the other guys are curious too. I'm not going to switch my screen till I see your reply. Throw another cast here, see if I catch something. Back when I was working on that Air Force base, it was all F-16s though, and bummer. I wanted to do it back when I was 20, bro, and they wouldn't let me because of my eyesight. They didn't let you fly with laser surgery back then. And then years later, when I had moved into a career in telecom, they changed the rules so that you could get laser surgery and fly, which sucked. But yeah, I feel your pain and get it. But that's why I didn't sign up. I was like, man, if I. Yeah, that is the sad but true thing, unfortunately, about the military. But congratulations on that achievement as a woman, though. That's still impressive. I'm a little bit surprised, but I'm not shocked. I'm more impressed. That I'd say I'm impressed more than shocked because that's you're not wrong. It's kind of like such a testosterone fueled environment. I think that, but yeah, I'm definitely impressed. Good on you. Takes guts to do that for sure. Can't say I had it. I know. Grew up with a few dudes from my hometown, like that were in cadets, and I always paintballed with these dudes, and so they both joined up and got deployed to Afghanistan. This was probably like 2010, but yeah, it kind of changed my mind. But yeah, it takes guts. I got to give it to you. And like every veteran or serving member that joins the channel, I got to tell you, thank you for your service because 100%, I'm always watching what's going on in the Ukraine and stuff. And if we didn't have the people that, like I think about sometimes, like it gets me so riled up that it makes me want to go and serve in the Ukraine and do something about the crap that's going on there, but I know that I would probably just go there and get myself killed because of my lack of, my video game level of knowledge when it comes to that kind of thing. And then I think about the people that actually do have the guts to go there, and there are plenty of our boys that are over there as volunteers serving, and man, nothing less than heroes in my opinion. So yeah, anybody serving, I give it to y'all. Well, he's a hero, and yeah, let me just check my screen. I just got kind of caught up talking about their military service. That's just too impressive. But yeah, let me switch my screen and let me check my overclock here. I'm pretty sure it's going to be done. So let me just keep my PlayStation on. Yeah, it's done. See if I have better results because I changed some settings. I'm not going to bore you guys with it because you probably don't care. Cool. Came back with a really solid overclock, so that's nice. Now I don't know where James got this copy of SnowRunner because it's not in Steam. Um, Elijah, so that's my only concern is I'm worried about it if it'll work or not. But I'm gonna start up the stream and we're gonna try it out. And sorry, don't type right now because I'm in my on my computer screen right now. I can't see it. Just checking. Okay, it's just stress testing a little overclock on the graphics card, and then yeah, I'll boot up a stream on the PC, Eli. Okay, just got back. Excuse me. Man, the glass on the side of this PC case is so clear, it looks like it's just open. Yeah, I think that's kind of what I got for this unique, isn't it? Yeah, 50,000 cash, 44,000 XP. It's not bad. for how long it doesn't take you that long to pull them in. But there's a few places I gotta try. I want to try Weeping Willow, and a bunch of my club members are over at Blue Crab Island. Is it called? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I haven't been there yet. Still pretty low level there, abnormal. Right on. It's a fun level though. I miss some of those little ponds like Naharan River. That's the one good thing about doing tournaments. Takes me back there. Now that I got the money to really travel around wherever I want. Once you come to the Congo, sitting on bought everything I possibly could, and I still have like almost 5 million. Yeah, a lot of them are really nice little spots for sure. Now that some of the newer maps are even more detailed, they can almost go back. And actually, they have. You know what? Advanced DLC. Which one is that? Are you on the phone? Are you on mobile? No, you're on you must be on PlayStation. I think you have to be on PlayStation to use this chat. Oh yeah, that. Oh really? No way. Okay, checking my overclock here. Should be done. Yeah. Yeah, I forget. It's cool though that Fishing Planet's crossplay. And if you want, you can add me up on your friends list. This club I'm in right now, they're only accepting people that are like a higher level, I think, but might make a club for lower level people one day. But I'm going to switch over to my PC stream for the first time, guys. So we just got the streaming rig all hooked up and ready to go, and I did a test stream from it and made sure audio and everything was coming through. So I'm going to try it out here and see if I can. I told Elijah I was going to play some SnowRunner with him. So I'm going to give it a go and see if I can hook up with him. We're going to see how the PC stream goes. I do have Fishing Planet on the PC already. Of course, my guy's only level 1 right now. But I am going to get on that guy and probably start just playing from him as well. So if anybody's low level, then maybe we end up playing at some of the same ponds one of these days. But yeah, signing off of PlayStation, and I'll fire the stream back up on PC, and I'll catch you shortly, Elijah. Anybody else? Take care, guys, and if you rejoin the stream, then I'll see you shortly. Max player's the lowest, so I can go and call. Okay. Take care, Abnormal. It was nice meeting you. And salute. Take care. Adios, Zeke.